and welcome to the School of Cloud. Hello and welcome to the School of Cloud. Now, the School of Cloud. This week we're finishing out our quest on cloud logging. So we've been learning about where do all the log messages go? How do you know what's going on with your systems that are in Google Cloud? And beyond just looking at them from the face of it and seeing what they're doing at that exact moment, what did they do before? And you can find that information in your log files. And the log files in Google go to Google Cloud Logging. So we're going to finish out learning about that. Now, I'm your host, Jeff Williams. I'm the Google Cloud, I'm the Google Tech lead over at UC Berkeley. And also we have Elaine Chan. Elaine?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Elaine. I'm a junior at Western Michigan University, and it's nice to see you guys again.
All right. Now, the quest we've been working on that we're almost going to finish, that we're going to finish tonight, is this one about cloud logging. And if you want a challenge, you can add another lab on and go for the Google Cloud Operations Suite badge as well. But that's the one that we're going to be working on a little later. Let's see, that one's in April, May. Yeah, that one we're going to finish out in May if you keep up with the Wednesday classes. So let's get started. So we were working on the cloud logging quest. That's this one here. Now this quest has 5 labs. Now we did the first 2 labs, okay? And we've got 3 labs, but they're all 45-minute introductory labs, except for the third one. It's a 5-credit lab. So these first 2, they'll be easy. And look, they're only 1 credit each. So let's knock those 2 out, and then let's shift control over and then do the third one. So Elaine, do you want to do the first 2, or do you want to do the third one?
I could do first. It's up to you. Really. I could do the first 2. So like cloud logging on Kubernetes and monitoring and logging
for cloud functions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds great. So Elaine's going to lead us through those first 2, and then I'll take the third one at the end there. And
okay,
sounds good.
So cloud logging on Kubernetes Engine. We're just going to go ahead and start with a quick little overview before we actually hit Start Lab. So cloud logging can be used to aggregate logs from all Google Cloud resources, as well as any custom resources on other platforms, usually third parties, to allow for one centralized store for all logs and metrics. Logs are aggregated and then viewable within the provided cloud logging UI. They can also be exported to sinks to support more specialized use cases. Currently, cloud logging supports exporting to the following things: cloud storage, PubSub, and BigQuery. Basically, what you can do with your logging data. And in this lab, we're going to go ahead and deploy a sample application to Kubernetes Engine that forwards log events to cloud logging using Terraform, a declarative infrastructure IaaS tool that enables configuration files to automate the deployment and evolution of infrastructure in the cloud. Configuration will also create a cloud storage bucket and a BigQuery dataset for exporting log data too. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the architecture real quick. The Terraform configurations are going to build a Kubernetes engine to generate logs and metrics that can be ingested by Stackdriver. Scripts will also be built out logging. We'll also build our logging export sinks for cloud storage, BigQuery, and cloud PubSub. Basically, our GKE cluster Kubernetes engine is going to go ahead and generate matrix and logs through the Stackdriver, and then we're going to go ahead and export our data to these sectors. We're going to go ahead and start by hitting Start Lab. Okay, I'm not a robot. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, scrolling through. If we go ahead and look at the steps that we're supposed to take, we're gonna go ahead and clone the demo, deploy it, validate it, generate logs, and look at the logs through cloud logging. We're also gonna look at the log exports. Then we're gonna go ahead and provide our logs in cloud storage, BigQuery, and then we're gonna go ahead and tear it all down as well as to troubleshoot it all. We go ahead and minimize this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and open link in incognito window. Link to this lab, sure. This should work. I'll go ahead and drop it here. Tell me if the link works. I'm gonna copy a password, basic setup. All right. We're gonna start by cloning the demo. So Cloud Shell link works for, okay, great. We're gonna run the following command to set our Google Cloud project ID, but replacing this placeholder over here with our actual ID, which you can be found over here. Right, Cloud Shell, gcloud config set. All right, it's important to note that our repo can be found through GitHub, specifically through this repo, and we're just going to copy and clone it to work on it. All right, we're going to start with setting our project. Usually, this just means that your project has been set. As you can see over here, your cloud platform project in the session is set to this, and it's actually what we want. We can go ahead and run it anyways. Enter, authorize, and it should say update property core project. And then we're gonna go ahead and run the command git clone and then the link to the repo. And so if we go ahead and say ls, it shows us that we have successfully cloned the repo to our current working directory. And then we're just gonna go ahead and just change the directory to the repo that was set, gke logging sings demo. And we're just gonna go ahead and set our region and zone. So basically a region is a specific geographical location where you can run your resources. Each region has one or more zones, usually specified by a character. So we're gonna start by setting the region to US Central 1 and the zone to US Central 1A. All right. So our region has been updated and our zone has been updated. Right, then we're gonna go ahead and just deploy our app using, let's see, Terraform supports the writing of declarative descriptions of the desired state of infrastructure. When the descriptor is applied, Terraform uses Google Cloud APIs to provision and update resources to match. Terraform is more of an automated deployment type of resource that we can use to actually automate our deployments of our app. Usually quite popular for it to be paired with Kubernetes Engine clusters. All right, let's go ahead and update the provider.tf file, Terraform file, by removing the provider version. All right, there are a few ways to do so. We can actually just change this by using one of the text editors in the Cloud Shell, but I think they want us to use the actual Cloud Shell editor. So that's just gonna be selecting the file, opening, and then changing the data inside. Oops. Nope, that's not it. Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and open editor, a new window. Okay, let's see. So this is what we're at. It should be under GKE logging syncs demo Terraform, and then that's where we can find our file. So it's under Terraform. We're just gonna look for provider.tf, and then you just want to go ahead and change this to 2.19, and then we want to go ahead and save it. You can also click on autosave just to make sure it saves for you. I'll just save just in case. And then we're gonna go ahead and close out the file. You don't need to do that. Deploying the cluster, there are 3 Terraform files provided with this lab. First one, main.tf, is starting point for Terraform, describes the features that will be used, resources manipulated, and the outputs that will result. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. So main.tf, we've got our data, where we can find our project, the resources, in this case, random string used to create a unique bucket name, and then what kind of storage we want to use, where we want to output it. So in our case, Google BigQuery dataset. We're also going to go ahead and just create a primary cluster where we specify some of its specs. And then we're also going to go ahead and configure stack driver syncs and necessary roles. Right. Next, we have the provider.tf, of which we actually looked at, which indicates which cloud provider and version will be the target of the Terraform commands, in this case, Google Cloud. Final file is variables.tf, which contains a list of variables that are used as inputs into Terraform. Any variables referenced in the main.tf that do not have defaults configured in variables.tf will result in prompts to the user at runtime. We're gonna go ahead and make a small change to main.tf. So let's look at main.tf again. Scroll down to line 110. You scroll down, you can see over here, it should find a create, and then we're just gonna change the filters resource type from container to Kubernetes container. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same for a BigQuery sync on line 119 over here. 8s, and then we're just going to go ahead and save and close the file. As again, I have autosave on, but just to make sure. Okay, I'm going to open terminal again. Let's go ahead and say make create. Oh. Okay. All right, it's taking a while. Okay.
It's going to take a while for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it seems that Terraform has been initialized. You can see all of the process that goes through slowly. Usually all of these can be found through the Terraform file as well. Some of the specs that you indicate for it to be.
Yeah, Terraform's pretty cool. Across different clouds, you can use it. You'll specify what you want and then run it, and then it'll go and set up all those different things you've asked for, right? Mm-hmm. And people like it because it, you can use it on Azure, you can use it on AWS, you can use it on Google Cloud. There are some things that are better on one cloud than another, or cheaper or specific. So of course there might be some differences, like, BigQuery is on Google, mm-hmm. or something like that. But, or different names for the same thing on different clouds, like Lambda functions on AWS or like Google Cloud functions on Google. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying, Elaine knows this stuff. I'm just sharing for the benefit of the audience.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just look at the next step real quick. So we're just gonna go ahead and work on validation after our entire infrastructure has been set up. So we're just gonna go ahead and validate the demo deployed. So the way to do so is by the simple command make validate, and then we can go ahead and generate logs. So a simple application at Terraform deployed serves up a simple web page. Each time you open this application in your browser, the application will publish log events to cloud logging, basically as a way to keep track of user activity. When you refresh the page a few times to produce several log events. To get the URL for the application page, we're gonna go ahead and perform these few steps. So we're gonna look at network services, look at load balancer, specifically on the front end, and we're gonna look for the port to use. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and check out the logs in cloud logging. So a general overview, cloud logging provides a UI for viewing log events. Basic search and filtering features are provided, which can be useful when debugging system issues. Cloud logging is best suited to exploring more recent log events. Users requiring longer-term storage of log events should consider some of the tools to explore the following sections. We are going to explore these following sections. Basically logging. We're gonna specify through filtering by Kubernetes container, and then the cluster name, and then let's see. Okay, that's it. And then we're just gonna run query, and it'll show us a basic logging um, type of file for it. Then we're gonna go ahead and view log exports. So the Terraform configuration built out 2 log export sinks. And if you remember, it was to cloud storage and BigQuery. And then to view the sinks, we're gonna go ahead and just under logging as well, we're gonna look for logs router. So we're gonna see 4 sinks, and we're just gonna go ahead and view specifically, edit a view in a way to create our sink to cloud storage or BigQuery and BigQuery. So it says that log events can be stored in cloud storage, object storage for archiving data. Depends on what kind of cloud storage you specify it to be. It could be nearline, it could be a frequently accessed data, or just something that's not always accessed that frequently per year basis. And then we're gonna go ahead. Policies can also be configured for cloud storage buckets that, for instance, allow aging data to expire and be deleted, or more recent data can be stored with a variety of storage classes affecting price and availability. So we're just gonna go ahead and access for this case, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have it as nearline. So this is one of the storage classes, just because we expect for it to be infrequently accessed in a normal production environment, maybe once per year type of scenario, or once per few years. This access a medium-term storage. Bucket may also include a life cycle policy that moves the content to cold line storage for cheaper long-term storage of logs. And we're just gonna go ahead and create a bucket to store that. And we're also gonna go ahead and look at BigQuery. BigQuery is more of a data analytical platform. So basically, say that you wanna go ahead and check out a few, you want to do something with your data. That's the main cause, really, purpose, really. You want to be able to get some useful information from your data. For example, what button leads to the user's say that the users click on this button and right after they click, they always exit your website. What button specifically is making them do that? All right. Before I go ahead and continue, it seems that my infrastructure has been set up. So after we look at BigQuery, we're gonna go ahead and just tear down all the resources. This is one of the best practices really to be a good cloud citizen, just to make sure that our resources, should we not want to use it, we're just gonna go ahead and just tear it all down. And then we're also gonna go ahead and troubleshoot our production environment. All right. So let's go back and check my progress. It should be, it should have a green check mark at the side. And then we're gonna go ahead and validate it. So basically, let's look at the cluster real quick. So it's here, Kubernetes Engine, clusters. See a cluster, it's a name, and the sample application deployed. Let's see if we can look. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and just validate the demo deployed by saying make validate. Right.
The validation takes about a minute. I got yeah. Oh wow. That was quick.
Yeah, I would say it fluctuates a lot. Just like time-wise. All right, let's go ahead and generate logs. So it serves out a simple web page, as we all know. We're gonna go ahead and generate some logs for each user activity. So let's go ahead and look at network services. All right. Okay, on the default load balancing page, click on the name of the TCP load balancer that was set up. So here we have labeled front end. Yep, it is labeled front end. The front end, copy the IP port, URL value, open your browser and paste it in there. So it says that it's running on port 8080 and we have a very simple web app configure up for us. All right, let's go ahead and look at cloud logging. So I'm gonna go ahead and click search for logging. Here we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and select the resource type to Kubernetes container. This resource type, Kubernetes container. And then we can go ahead and also specify the cluster name. Here we go. So it's stack driver logging. And we're also gonna specify the namespace name to default. Okay. All right, so after 3 little filters, we can actually see a quick little overview of our app itself. Let me go ahead and expand this so we can see it better. Right, so shows that a few little logs, few notable mentions is server listening on port 8080. Just means that it was accessed at that time. We can see the time here, and we can look at the monitoring details and also the user activity as well. Let's go ahead and look at the monitoring details. All right, we can see that currently we don't have an alert policy. So alert policy could be something as if your automated deployment failed, you can go ahead and just make sure that it will notify you via email or SMS, maybe a call about this sudden event. And then we can also look at the matrix of how much resource is being used by this app. Go ahead and close this out. All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and click run query. Quite sure it's been run actually. Yeah, let's run. Oh, let's run it again. Okay. As said, we can go ahead and just view more details about one specific log entry and build queries using Query Builder, try out various features like log fields, time zone, etc. Okay, let's go ahead and view log exports. We're gonna go ahead and click on logs router this time around. And then let's go ahead and look at a few sinks that were set up for us. We've got cloud storage bucket, data BigQuery, cloud logging bucket, cloud logging bucket. And then we can go ahead and just edit this. So by clicking on the context menu, 3 dots, by editing, then we can also create additional export sinks by clicking create sink. Seems that we don't have to do anything to them as of now. But let's go ahead and look at our cloud storage bucket. Oh, I think it's been created for us. It might be in the Terraform file that we created. Kind of missed that. Oh yeah, it was. Why am I saying? Cloud storage. Find the bucket with the name GKE logging bucket random ID. Click on the name. Takes a while for us to propagate to cloud storage, so you probably will not see any log details. Yeah, we apparently do not have any details as of now. As you saw there, it did say that it was currently still, the process was ongoing. But if we come back to the bucket towards the end of our lab, we might see folders corresponding to pods running in the cluster. We'll go ahead and go back. All right, it shows that starting up. And logs routed to cloud storage are written in hourly batches and therefore may not be visible up to an hour. That is a surprisingly long time. Right, let's go ahead and click on this. Does anything happen? Nope. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and look at BigQuery for now. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure our log events will be published to BigQuery. So Terraform configuration, as mentioned in the Terraform file, we'll create a BigQuery dataset named GKE logs dataset. And this dataset will set up to include all Kubernetes Engine related logs for the last hour by setting a default table expiration for the dataset. So to access the logs in BigQuery, we're gonna go ahead and look at BigQuery. Okay, click on it. We're just gonna go ahead and say done. Left menu, click on the project name, which is over here. And then we're just gonna go ahead and expand it to look at the tables available. All right, so we have standard error. Okay, let's look at one of the tables. All right, so these are some of the columns that can be found in the table. Log name, resource, subtables such as type and labels, and all of these. Let's see. So click on details preview. Is basically some of the data that has been stored into the table and under the specific columns. So let's go ahead and click on query. So what we're going to do is compose a short little query, such as where we want to find the, for example, let's see, the timestamp where we want to look at data that has been created on a specific time or after a specific time, things like that. So select star in SQL. This just means select all, and we're just going to look at it all, really. Apparently that's what we're doing. Okay. Click on query to the top right. We're going to compose the query. Let's go ahead and say select star. We're going to go ahead and run. What's that? Oh, edit query. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go back here. Search query, new tab. Oh, okay. So you weren't supposed to compose a new query, my bad. You're supposed to just click on query to look at change the current default query. So we're just gonna go ahead and say select star to show all queries from this table. And then we want to make sure that the limit is at 1,000. Let's go ahead and hit run. And then you can see some execution details and the actual results from here. All right, let's go ahead and verify. All right, it worked. Okay, let's go ahead and just tear everything down really. Before we do that, let's go ahead and look at our cloud storage, see if that has been updated fully. I'll just look at cloud storage. Leave. All right, make sure you've got 100 out of 100 as well. Let's click on cloud storage. Unfortunately, there is still might take an hour, so let's not wait for an hour. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on to one of the final steps, which is to just shut down all of the resources. Just something we should practice, especially when it's a resource that we don't want to use anymore. So easiest way to do that is just make tear down, and then it should go ahead and provide us with the confirmation that it has succeeded. All right. So it says destroyed, and with that, we actually are definitely not able to look at the cloud storage bucket and what could have been the data stored in that bucket. Okay, so if we refresh this, really, this should be empty once this is done. All right, so it says this information on this page is out of date. It does tell us to refresh. So if we refresh, there's absolutely no buckets at all. Cool. Then we also want to go ahead and just look at the last step. That is to troubleshoot our production environment. So the install script fails with the permission denied when running Terraform. The credentials that Terraform is using do not provide the necessary permissions to create resources in the selected projects. Ensure that the account listed in gcloud config list has necessary permissions to create resources. If it does, regenerate application. Oh, okay. Oh, this is just sorry, this is some troubleshooting. If say that you're going through the lab and you face some of the problems such as install script fail, cloud storage bucket not populated, and or no tables created in the BigQuery dataset. But yeah, so far so good, and it's just tearing down as of this moment. How are everyone doing? We're actually done with this lab. Congratulations, that was fast. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just end lab. This temporary environment will just, in a sense, destroy itself once that has been done. I would say 5 stars. I like the troubleshooting at the end. Submit. Okay. Let's go back. You should have this as a green check mark. gonna go ahead and just close this out as well. All right, if everyone's up for it, we can go ahead and just move on to the second lab. How's that sound?
That sounds pretty good. Let's see if anyone has any comments in the chat. Nothing. So yeah, you're free to go for it. And if anyone has any questions, they can just watch the video recording later, because this time you remembered to click recording after you reminded me.
Nice. All right, let's go ahead and click on monitoring and login for cloud functions. All right, just a quick little overview as well. I don't think they have an overview. Do they? Okay, probably not. Okay. Let's see, scrolling back up. Let's open this up. So we're just gonna look at a little overview of cloud functions. It's a scalable pay-as-you-go function as a service. Run your code with zero server management. So all you gotta basically take care of is your own code, and everything else will be handled on Google Cloud. So no servers to provision, manage or upgrade, automatically scale based on the load, integrated monitoring, logging, and debugging capability, and built-in security at role and per function level based on the principle of least privilege. And basically what that means is you only get exactly what you need. And then key networking capabilities for hybrid and multi-cloud scenarios. So as mentioned by Jeff earlier on, it is quite a popular practice as of now to just have this hybrid or multi-cloud scenarios, such as to include some of Google Cloud functionalities, as well as Azure or AWS or any equivalent cloud service. So some key features: simplified developer experience and increased developer velocity. So you could just focus on writing code, managing code, updating code, really, and then pay only for what you use. And then avoid log-in with open technology. All right, some other little things. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the lab itself. So we're just gonna go ahead and view cloud function logs and metrics in cloud monitoring. And then we wanna go ahead and create logs-based metrics. And then we're gonna go ahead and use Metrics Explorer. We're also gonna go ahead and create charts, and then a little test our understanding, little quiz at the end. Let's go ahead and start lab. Okay, interesting. Start lab, not a robot. Fire hydrant. So if you were able to complete the previous lab and this was your first time using our code, you should be able to use subscription as of now. Okay, there we go. So our temporary environment being provisioned up. Let's go ahead and start with the first little step. Incognito window. Let's go ahead and set our password. Okay, accept terms and conditions, and then a little hello and welcome pop-up box. Okay, agree and continue. Okay, let's go ahead and dive straight into cloud functions. There we go, and then create function. Our first little function. Okay, there we go, and then set the following function name to hello world. Where are we? Oh, okay. Hello world. Trigger type to be an HTTP request and check the box next to allow unauthenticated invocations. So usually a public API or a website that can be accessed by people out of your network. And then let's click save. Then we're just gonna go ahead and expand runtime, build connections, security settings. All right. So auto scaling, the maximum number of instances should be 5. We're gonna go ahead and click next. All right, that was it. Okay. And then we're gonna click deploy. So this is a default little code that's already written out for us. You can see there's a index.js file and also a package.json file. And then if you want to go ahead and just change anything or like the language to use, you just want to go ahead and change it over here. Let's go ahead, hit deploy. So the Cloud Function automatically deploys and is listed on the Cloud Function page. Let's see here. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and test if this was the case. Even though it is still provisioning, let's go ahead and see if this can be detected. Okay, so it says that it is not in the active state, so we're just gonna wait a few seconds for that. So let's look at a few other steps that flows from here. So we're gonna go ahead and run to get the following tool called Vegeta. I don't know if I'm butchering the name. Basically to send some test traffic to our Cloud Function, basically to imitate a real person going online and actually accessing your website. And then we're just gonna go ahead and run these following commands to just unpack the tool, and then click on we're gonna trigger it. Okay, it's taking a while. Let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, we have a green check mark. This should work now. All right, let's go ahead and use Cloud Shell. My Cloud Shell is kind of large right now. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this, paste, and all right, first command down. Then we're just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this. All right, let's go ahead and look at triggering it. Let me click on this. Let's click on trigger. Got it. And what's next? Click the trigger URL for your function. Okay. It should bring us to the web page. And then let's go ahead and send some traffic to our Cloud Function by just using a tool that we just downloaded, really. So you gotta make sure you change your project ID to your own project ID, and make sure that Quick Labs demo is the function name. All right, let's go ahead and copy. I did that. I want to go ahead and just, let's see, I want to change it not in the terminal. It's easier for me. So let's see, your project ID. Make sure you don't leave spaces as well. So copy. Oh, where was I? There we go. And there we go. As you can see, what this does is basically echo the results or just store the results into results.binary. Let's go ahead and paste this. Let's see if that works. That's taking a while, isn't it? Right. moving on to the next step real quick. We're going to go ahead and also create a distribution type logs-based metric using a regular expression to extract the value of latency from the log entry's text payload field. So we're going to go ahead and look at Logs Explorer for that. And okay, Logs Explorer. Okay, there we go. So forgot to mention this. It's not taking a while. It's just the process that is being run. The process is running basically. So it's just constantly sending traffic to our website. Let's go ahead and create a metric. So look at the logs from the cloud function and the resource. Drop down, click cloud function. Make sure it's hello world. There we go. And you can see the current logs from here. So select and click add. Is it added? Okay, it is. Click run query. All right, we have this up and running our matrix level here. And then let's go ahead and click on create metric. Where is that? Oh, there we go. And then from create metric, we're just going to specify the metric type to be distribution. We're going to name it cloud function latency log. And then for a field name, it's going to be text payload. And this is going to be the regex field. Okay. If it disappears, oh, okay. Let's just create metric here. Okay, log metric name, cloud function latency logs. Metric type is distribution, which is to collect numeric data from log entries matching a given filter, in this case, text payload. And then we have text payload for field name right here. Nice. And then enter following the regex field. Execution took. Okay, and then resource. My filter section is somewhat different. Resource.labels.function name. All right, log name is not there though. So is it not there? Okay, never mind. I created it anyways. Okay. And if we look back at our logs-based metrics page, we should see our user-defined metric added. Oh, let me. All right. Well, it's created. Let's go ahead and check my progress. Oh, okay, it works. Not quite sure why the log name is a little different here. Might be an outdated type of issue. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and explore the metrics explorer resource. So we're going to look at monitoring overview, opens your metrics. I didn't click on it. Scope project is ready. Left menu, click. Left menu, click Metrics Explorer. My left menu has been collapsed into this little menu. But anyways, Metric Explorer. And then start typing executions from the suggested metrics. Executions. Why do I not have that? Metrics. Oh, let's see. Is this it? No, it's not. Okay. Oh, this might be the problem just because I don't have a long name for the Yep. Oh, wait, it's here. Okay, executions apply. Then let's go ahead and create a stacked bar chart for that. So we're gonna go ahead and change the graph type. Where's my graph? Oh, here we go. So it's gonna be a stacked bar chart. Let's see what else we could do here. Yeah. Do you want us to explore other graph options? Try a different metric. So for example, let's go ahead and just look at this real quick. So it says that it shows how many times our cloud function is being executed. We could also it shows the time and just the execution value. If we look at a stacked area chart, we could also see this in a different point of view. If we were to just change this to just active instances, how many instances are currently up and running and being used, we could see that as well. And then change the aggregator to 95th percentile. Might that look? Apply stack bar chart. So, there we go. I am not that professional in data analytical situation, so I am unable to explain what this might be, unfortunately. Well, yeah, we could definitely check this out in our time. Right, let's go ahead and also create a chart on the monitoring overview window. So let's look at overview. So monitoring dashboard. Let's go ahead and create a dashboard. So this just creates a dashboard for any GCP resources that you might want. So let's go ahead and click on add chart. And let's ignore this. Add chart. We want it to be stacked bar. Okay, there we go. And then we want to change our resource type and metric. And then let's go ahead and do that. Resource type execution. Executions, apply metric that we want to use. All right. Okay, so we have our first chart. Let's go ahead and just, oh, okay, it's auto-saved. Never mind that. Let's go ahead and create another one. This time it's create one using the same metric. Click save. Charts name themselves. Doesn't specify what kind of chart they want. Let's go ahead and change it up using a line chart. And also add the executions as a metric. And currently, the name of the chart is just executions mean. The dashboard is a default with the timestamp. You can see charts and monitoring dashboard section, and that's about it. Cool. Let's go ahead and test our understanding. So list out two types of log-based metrics. We have, I'm gonna try these two. We have system and user-defined log-based metrics. If we go ahead and look back at this, didn't mention a lot. User-defined log-based. Not quite sure if it did. But anyways, so Vegeta is a versatile HTTP load testing tool built out of a need to drill HTTP services with a constant request rate. That's true. All right, and logs-based metrics are cloud monitoring metrics that are based on the content of log entries. That's actually true. All right. So congratulations, this is your second lab done. I'm gonna go ahead and end the lab. Submit, I would say 3. How's everyone doing so far?
One lab left to go. Now this last lab here, creating and alerting on logs-based metrics. Now we just looked at some metrics based on logs in the earlier two labs. So now we're going to deep dive onto that a little bit. And one tip for this one is make sure you've got your screen set wide. If you have to Alt-Tab between two different windows, do it. It'll be nice, and it'll be a lot easier if you've got your screen set wide for this one when you're working in there. Okay, so we're going to start this lab. It says an hour 30. It's not going to take that long. And we're going to make alerts based on audit logs. So I'm going to look through for a little overview. We've got the basic stuff we do every time at the beginning, Cloud Shell and checking that the project is right and things. We're going to set up an App Engine app. So that takes a moment to deploy when we get to that. So that'll be a good moment to pause and talk through things. When we go to install cloud monitoring, that takes a minute too. So we've got a couple things where we know there will be a chance to pause and discuss. Okay. Install Ops Agent. That stuff is fine. When we get to doing the uptime checks and things, it'll be convenient to have the wider setup so you can see all the different options. And especially when you're clicking on things in here in cloud logging, where they go to the right so far to click to drill down. Let's see, query builder. Yeah, this stuff is going to be old hat because it's so similar to things we've just done earlier today and that we worked on last week. Notification channels, make a new instance. Yeah, and look at this. Like, they don't even have to tell us much for details anymore. We know how to do this. Like, go and set up another instance, another virtual machine. Easy. Here's the name of it. Click those two boxes. Click create. They don't even need to show us pictures anymore because we've been doing this so many times. So we're getting good at that stuff. That's the most common things. And the goal is to get y'all more familiar with these things. Okay, so far nothing all that tough or difficult, just bit by bit going through. Oh, gonna do a heat map. Now that's pretty cool. I think those are cool heat map things. Okay, and the last thing they're actually testing us on is the alert policy. So as soon as we've got the alert policy, we'll actually have all the points. Then doing the custom dashboard, that's a little tough, and it's difficult for them to to test us on. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. And this lab, by the way, counts towards 2 different quests. So that other quest we're going to do in May, it has this lab in it, and we're going to skip this lab in May because we're doing this lab now. So you guys are kind of going to get ahead of anybody who's new that starts later. So you guys will already have this lab done, and you get credit towards 2 different badges. Okay, so let's go. I'll hit start lab. So now we're waiting for it to set up the servers and things. In the meantime, we can scroll down and we can look for the first instructions. So opening Cloud Shell, yeah, we'll do that. That's fine, but first we got to wait for it to set up the servers and stuff. Ooh. Okay, so it's got the account for us and everything. So copy the password, right click on Open Google Console and go down to the 3rd one, Open Link in Incognito Window. That's going to be the best way so you don't end up with another account in the same window. Now up in the top right, it says Incognito, right? If it says Incognito 2 or 3, then that means you already have another account in the same Incognito session, and you'll want to close those other windows. Otherwise, you might get mixed up between your personal one or your work one and this one for class. So they pre-filled the username for me, and that looks right. If they didn't, then I would have to go back and copy paste that. I had copied the password, so I can paste that right in right now. Okay, so they wanted us to go to Cloud Shell. All right, and what do they want us to do? Gcloud auth list. And it's the project, and it's the same project ID that they told us, so everything's good about that. Now they want us to export a variable called project ID and have that be our project ID. Just out of curiosity, I wonder if there's already a there's not already a variable with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what they said. We're going to go and variable, and we'll put the project ID number in it. Now, if we echo that, now it shows. So now we can use that in different commands and stuff. So, things like my work my project ID is. Okay, so we've got the project ID there, and it's exported so other like subshells will be able to see it as well. Let's go and get the project they want us to work on, this guest book that's written in App Engine. We want to quickly get that deploying. That'll take a moment to deploy. And here they're having us Gcloud app create project, and they're using the project ID that we put into a variable. Okay, now it's going to ask which region. I think we're going to choose US Central. Oops. Which is number 17 there. Let's see if they have any preference. We just pick which one we want. Okay. I'll choose number 17, US Central. will probably be the Iowa data center. Okay, then next we want to run gcloud app deploy to deploy that project. So we'll create a project and then we're going to deploy the project. Okay. And this will be version 1. If you later want version 2, you'll run this again and change it to version 2, version 3, version 4, etc. Do we want to continue? Yes, we do. And this next command will set up a Datastore database for us once all those files get uploaded to App Engine. Okay, this is doing its thing. It's done. Great. Okay, if it said hit yes if we need to now, that was the command. That was the command to deploy the project. Now we need to run the command to set up that data store and hit yes if it asks you. And yes, I do want it to set that up. Now, exactly what it's doing is set up in a file called index.yaml. You can go and read and see what that file says to do. Oops. And it's really simple. It's like there's an index of greeting, name, date, description. Like it's a super simple index, not too much to it. But it's just a guest book, so there shouldn't be too much in there. Okay, we're going to monitor indexes. So we're going to go navigation menu, Datastore Indexes, and we're going to wait a couple minutes and refresh. And when it says has a green check mark, then we'll check our progress. If you check your progress too early like this, it's going to say, hey, wait until it gets deployed. And they're right to do so. So what we're going to do is go over to the navigation menu, Datastore Indexes. Now you can type up here, Datastore, and find it right there. Or on the side, you can go and click on the menu there and then scroll down until you get to databases and look for Datastore. There it is. And that was indexes, I think they told us to go to. And there you can see that it's still setting that up. So they're setting up a database for us that's distributed and scalable and all kinds of great things. But unfortunately, it takes a moment to get set up when it first starts. So as it does that, let's go and see what the next instruction is. Then they want us to install cloud monitoring. So we can go and start that ahead of time. Let's go and start that now. Let's go in another tab to set to monitoring and then go to the overview page. So I'll leave this tab here. I'll click on the navigation menu. I'll go down to monitoring. Okay, there's monitoring. I'll right click and I'll choose open link in new tab. Now that tab is another incognito tab. That's important. So we want it to be logged into the same account. And now it already got us 25% of the way complete. That's handy. Now let's come back, check our progress again. That's still working. Yeah, we don't have the green check mark yet. So what's next that we could do while we're waiting? Well, it says we can install the ops agent. Okay, to install the agent on a VM, then we want to go to monitoring, VM instances under dashboards infrastructure. Okay, so we can do that. So navigation menu, monitoring. Overview, VM instances under dashboards. Oh, down here, dashboards, VM instances. There you go. Agent is not detected on instance 1. We should put an agent on there, I bet. There you go. Yep. Check the check mark on instance 1 and then click install agent. Oh, there's that button. It's grayed out because I didn't yet click that box. Check the box, tick the box either way, and then click install agents. Oh, excellent. It's got all the stuff we need to have it do. Now, what do they want us to do with that? Do they want us to click run in Cloud Shell? Sure. Okay. It's running. Well, that's running. Let's go. Hey, we just got the green. Excellent. Now we've got the green. We can go back over, scroll back up a bit, and now we can hit check my progress and get our green check mark over here and 10 points out of the 100. So we've been waiting for that. That completed. We're working on installing the ops agent, and it says that'll take a few minutes. Now we're going to set up an uptime check in App Engine. The agent is pending on instance 1 there, so it's working on it. And anyway, now we're going to go to App Engine. There you go, serverless App Engine. Click on that. Some extra stuff open. I'll close the extra stuff. There it is, Quick Labs, blah, 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 appspot.com. Click that. Now we're going to see our App Engine Guestbook app in a new browser tab. We want to record the URL to use later. Okay, so highlight this, copy that. So that's the URL for this Guestbook. Let's go back to the instructions. Back to cloud monitoring, navigation monitoring, uptime check, create an uptime check. We'll call it pizza check. All right, so we'll go back to cloud monitoring. Uptime checks. In the bottom right over here, uptime checks, click create check. I think they said pizza check. And host name, URL. Should we say App Engine or URL? Let's see. URL, paste it, but remove the HTTPS and the slash, and then the path should include food equals pizza. Okay. HTTP URL. Remove HTTPS and the slash at the end. Path will be, what's that? It's like a slash question mark. Food equals pizza, maybe. Check food. Yep, slash question mark, food equals pizza. And check 1 minute. Next. Next one more time. Test. Responded okay, and that did so quickly. Then hit create. Now we're going to make 2 more uptime checks. All right. One was about pizza, next one will be about burger, and another one about cake. And it'll be easy because we get to copy the existing one. So let's go to up here and let's refresh this so that that page will show the existing check. There's one there. I will click to copy that one. There's that 3-dot menu. And now we wanted to have one was pizza, one was burger, one was cake. Yeah. So burger check. Now you can imagine if you have a web page that has different different functions, different paths to get to different functionality, that you might want to have more than one check so that you get alerted if a certain thing is or isn't working. Test that. It worked. Great. Now we've got burger, pizza. Next we need cake. So we'll copy pizza and we'll change that to cake. Oh, oops. They want the titles to be just pizza check, no dash, and food burger check, no dash. So maybe it's gonna, maybe it won't like what I put there. On the other one, maybe I'll have to rename them or make them over. Good thing I spotted that before getting confused by it. Now, just on the off chance that it's going to work, wow, that actually worked. It's still different than what they asked us for, so I'm going to go and rename them, but that's interesting. Okay, those three have been saved. We already got the points now. We're at 30 points out of 100. Now we're going to go and set up some log-based metrics. All right, sounds fun. So creating a metric using a log entry. All right, so hopefully the logs have been created by now, at least some of them. So we're going to go to Logging Logs Explorer, and we're going to look for VM instances, instance 1. Okay, so we want logs Explorer. So leaving the metric, you know what, we're probably going to have to come back to the metrics again later. I'm just guessing. So I'm going to open the log one, but I'm going to do so in a new tab. Logging, Logs Explorer, right click, open in a new tab. That's still an incognito tab. Logs Explorer, resource, and they wanted us to look for VMs, right? It was VM instance. Instance 1, log name, I think they wanted us to look for the activity log. Okay, and then click Run Query. Look there, it tells us exactly how to create alerts from log messages right over here. That's probably something we're going to be doing very soon. Okay, so we're going to click on one of the entries. Let's see, it has an insert tag, clicking specifically on that tag, and then show matching entries. Okay, here's an insert tag, show matching entries. All right, now we see the criteria for that metric. So it'll be like before, but it'll also have that insert. And there is the payload method name. Okay, then top right has a create metric. Oh, there it is. And then we're going to type in new VM. I'm going to copy it and paste it. They didn't tell us to change anything else. So I'll just leave it as with the default settings. Okay. Now, system defined logs based metrics. Things like how many bytes have been processed or ingested, how much was excluded. All right, a bunch of different options in here. Most of those are counter metrics, it said. All right. Log entry count. Navigation monitoring metrics explorer, VM instance. So I'll go back to monitoring. Wait, and then here in the metrics explorer. navigation metrics bar. VM instance as the resource. Okay. VM instance. Oh, 68 metrics to choose from. To find a metric, start typing log entry. In the filter here, guessing. Logging agent log entry count. I have to go off with this one, this log entry count one. It seems like it's the closest. Choose the option for GCE instances. That one? I don't know exactly. So maybe that's when the instance was started, and then over here there were a bunch of logs that were created. Well, I'll leave that for now. Creating an alerting policy for the VM creation metric. Cloud monitoring, alerting, create policy, add condition. It seems to me that it's a little bit different in here than in their example, so it's not super clear. Anyway, alerting, and it wants to create a policy. Yeah, create policy, add a condition. Scroll up and choose VM instance for the target. VM instance, all right. Typing logging slash for the metric. Logging, I found it. Condition is above threshold 0. Fit, okay, triggers if. It's above 0 for 1 minute. Click add. Let's just click next. Now we're going to manage notification channels. We're going to create a brand new notification channel. I've seen this before a few times. Oh, that's neat. They've added some third-party stuff in here like Slack and PagerDuty. That's cool. Okay, so email, add new, add your personal email and your name or alias. Email, add new. I'll put in an email address. Okay. Now go back to alerting policy, notification channels, and hit refresh. And oh, there it is, it showed up. They recommend at least 2 notification channels of different types. That's probably a good idea, but we don't need that for now. Okay, so hit OK, next. new virtual machine as the alert name, and then save. So next, alert name, new virtual machine, save. Okay, so whenever a new VM is created, then we're going to get an email. Okay, I will create an instance, and that instance will then trigger that, and we'll get an alert. So I'm going to go and set up a new instance. We'll call it instance 2, and we'll allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Okay, so VM instances, and we'll spin up another server. Create. I want us to call it instance 2. Now they didn't say what kind. They just assumed everything else would be the same, and then check these 2 checkboxes under firewall down here. Then hit create. It'll take 3 to 5 minutes for the incident to show up in Cloud Monitoring Console. Continue with the lab. We can check these results at the end. Cool. Now, if you check it too early like this, huh. All right, that worked earlier than it should, but we haven't, had an alert yet show up in there because the server had just finished creating. Let's see if I've got anything showing up in here yet. Probably not yet. Reload this page and see if there's anything that shows up on here. I'm not expecting it to show up yet. Yeah, not yet. Okay, so we're going to go and set up some labels on metrics. Okay, Logs Explorer. I'll do that on the other tab here. I'll go to Logging and then Logs Explorer. We're doing lots of stuff, aren't we? All these different log lines. Okay, now what do they want us to do? They want us to resource, Google App Engine application, add. Resource, Google App Engine application, default, which version, add. Maybe they just want this, and not all of it. Let's try that out. Wow, lots of logs here. Okay, for log name, they want to limit it to just the request log. Log name. Okay. On that, it should be a lot less. It's not that many less, actually. Okay, create metric. This. Food count. All right. And it said add a description. So count of food. Click on add label to create a label. Clicked on that before, so let's try that. Click add label and label name. they didn't tell us what put as the label yet. Okay, here they go. They say, okay, back to what we were doing, just creating a metric. So we're going to name it food, the label. It'll be a string, and we'll look for any kind of food in the resource. That makes sense. Okay, so food, string, in payload, or no, let's see what payload.resource. Okay, that'd be something like /? Food equals maybe like .star. We want the .star inside of a regular expression group, and whatever's inside of that group, that's going to be what's captured. So that's a captured group. So .star means like dot means any character, and star means any number of times. So it's like this character, which is any character, repeated as many times as there. So if it's a really long food, it would match. If it's a really short food, it would also match. And the whole match will be contained inside those parentheses there. Click done, it said. Okay. Okay, create metric. Check progress. Doing great. We're at 60 of 100 already. Oh, wait, now 80. We've got one more thing to do. We're going to do a food count alerting policy. Navigation menu, monitoring, alerting, create policy. Monitoring. I've got that monitoring tab open still, so I'll go back to that monitoring, alerting, create policy, add condition. Okay, we want logging /user. Copy that. We don't want new VM. We want the food count one. Maybe it doesn't exist yet. If it doesn't appear, close the window and try again. Okay. So it's not ready yet. Logging /user. Food count, there it is. Awesome. Let me say, let's see. Condition is above 0 for 1 minute. Condition is above 0 for 1 minute. Look at that, we've got burgers, cake, and pizza. All three of them over there. Let add. Now we're supposed to next notification. Okay, next food alert. Next notification me. Okay. Next food alert. Say. And we're starting to see that working. All right, that got us to the, should have gotten this the rest of the points. There you go. So we've got 100 points now. We're just doing extra. This is like frosting on the cake. So we're going to go and make a custom dashboard with a heat map. So in the cloud monitoring window, we want to go on the left side and go dashboards, create dashboard, app response. Okay. Cloud monitoring dashboards, create dashboard. Dashboards. Create dashboard is up top. Name it app response. We want a heat map. Google App Engine application. Response latency. There it is under popular metrics, response latency. Apply. Ooh. Chart names itself. You can change the title to whoever you want. This one uses heat map. Okay. Call it heat map, why not? And we have our very own heat map. Most of the requests are really quick, but some of them, a few of them took a long time. Like there's one that took nearly 2 seconds to complete. But most of the requests were completing much faster. Make this larger and it'll expand out and stuff. You can choose how you want your dashboard arranged and stuff. Do they want us to save this, or what do we do next on this? Maybe it's already automatically saved. It's auto saved. So. Okay, now we're going to go to the monitoring overview and check for the alerts. Oh yeah, we set up some alerts there, didn't we? So we're going to go to the alerting section in the monitoring overview. Overview. Scroll down. Oh, there's incidents. Those are from those alerts. Food alert, food alert, food alert. And here under alerts, under active issues, view those. And then that's those incidents. So they changed the title of that to incidents, right? Okay, so new VM alert is what they want us to look at. I don't see the new VM. I see the, okay, I see it there under policies, but I didn't see any alert from that created. So maybe I had clicked on the wrong option. So that would be good to figure out. And then we're going to disable the alert so we don't keep getting a whole bunch of emails. So we want to go and in the alerting section, we want to disable that possibility. You probably also want to go and remove your personal email out of there if you've set up your personal email. So I'm going to go to alerting and go to those alert policies and disable those. Oh. Got it. I have to confirm each one. Those points, that was a bunch of clicking. I'll say I have 4. I'll say this lab needs to be reviewed. I'm not sure. Did that work? Oh, good. Good. Okay, so I didn't get to give feedback because I had canceled accidentally, but I did get the new badge. So now I've got another badge for my LinkedIn profile. And I'm happy about that. Hopefully you guys got it as well. Thanks again for attending the School of Cloud. Now check out some of our other videos, and see you back next time.